the 2024 CDL Passenger Practice Test. This test has 60 questions with explained answers to help you prepare for this test. Before we get started, don't forget to jumpstart that like button to keep this channel running. Now here is your CDL instructor to walk you through the questions.
Question 1. What are the advantages of using convex mirrors? A. Gives a wider view. B. They do not need to be inspected often. C. Makes objects appear further away. D. All of the above. The correct answer is A. Gives a wider view. Using convex mirrors allows a driver to view a larger area behind the vehicle. In order to prevent hitting objects, drivers must be aware that objects in a convex mirror are closer than they appear. Question 2. And blank enables drivers to report any damage so it may be repaired in time for the next day's shift. A. Pre-trip inspection. B. After-trip inspection. C. Mid-trip inspection. D. All of the above. The correct answer is B. After-trip inspection. Sometimes passengers may damage safely related parts during a trip. Handrails, emergency exits, and windows should be checked at the end of each shift. If damage is reported at the end of a shift, mechanics might have time to repair before the next time the vehicle is scheduled to be used. Question 3. When checking brake drums, drivers should look out for blank. A. Cracked drums. B. Pads with oil or grease on them. C. Shoes that are missing, broken or worn dangerously thin. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Checking brake drums and pads are an important part of a pre-trip. Most times the hood will need to be lifted to check this area behind the tires. Having cracked drums or pads with oil or grease on them, and shoes that are missing or dangerously thin could all cause brake failure. A vehicle should never be taken on the road if any of these problems are discovered. Question 4. A yellow lamp will light up on the dashboard when the blank is not working properly. A. Transmission. B. Service brake. C. Parking brake. D. Anti-lock brake. System. The correct answer is D. Anti-lock brake system. Many commercial vehicles have an anti-lock brake system, ABS. The ABS uses sensors to monitor the wheel's rotation. If an abnormal rotation is detected, the ABS forces split-second releases of brake pressure. Question 5. Why is the balance of weight important? A. Too much weight on the steering axle can cause damage to the steering axle and tires. B. Too much weight on the steering axle can make it difficult to steer. C. Too little weight on the driving axle can cause poor traction. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Poor weight balance can cause a vehicle to be difficult to steer, cause damage, and difficult traction. When loading cargo, materials should be placed at the center of gravity. Question 6. What does a driver need to do to get a passenger endorsement on their CDL? A. Pass a knowledge test on driving safely, transporting cargo, and transporting passengers. B. Pass a skills test for the class of vehicle they will be driving. C. Pass a knowledge test on air brakes, if applicable. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. Drivers who want to drive a Class A, B, or C bus must obtain a passenger endorsement on their CDL. A driver will need to answer a wide range of questions regarding vehicle inspections, driving in adverse weather conditions, all aspects of transporting cargo, passenger safety, and more. Question 7. Leaving on time, not using a cell phone, keeping the appropriate following distance are all ways to avoid blank. A. Becoming an aggressive driver. B. Getting lost. C. Arriving late. D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. Becoming an aggressive driver. Aggressive driving is when a driver commits a combination of driving offenses that endangers other drivers, pedestrians, passengers, or property. It may include behaviors such as tailgating, speeding, running red lights, and more. If a driver encounters an aggressive driver, They should increase the following distance and do not engage. Question 8. Spare electrical fuses are considered to be part of the vehicle's blank. A. Electrical fuses repair kit. B. Electrical equipment. C. Emergency equipment. D. Extra mechanical supplies. The correct answer is C. Emergency equipment. Electrical fuses are required by DOT to be included in CDL's emergency equipment. At least one spare fuse is needed for each type of part and accessory that needs to be powered. Question 9. When arriving at a scheduled destination or an intermediate stop, the driver should announce blank. A. The location and bus number. B. Reason for stopping. C. Next departure time. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. In addition, the driver should also remind passengers to take their carry-ons with them. Sometimes passengers are seated on the lower level and should be reminded to step down. All announcements would be made before the driver stops the bus. In order to prevent theft or vandalism, passengers should not be allowed back on the bus until departure time. Question 10. All seats on a bus must be blank. A. In proper order. B. Evenly lined up. C. Securely fastened. D. Comfortably fit, 15 people or more. The correct answer is C. Securely fastened. All seats on a bus must be securely fastened. If a seat becomes loose, it can be a hazard and cause serious injury. Seats must be fastened to the floor to prevent passengers from falling and causing injury. Question 11. A bus driver should scan blank to blank seconds ahead. A. 12, 15. B. 6, 12. C. 4, 8. D. 10, 20. The correct answer is A. 12, 15. Drivers should always be scanning ahead looking for hazards or changes in traffic patterns. Scanning 12 to 15 seconds ahead will allow a driver to see approximately 1/4 mile ahead to allow enough time to change driving patterns if needed. Question 12. Blank is used to secure the cargo deck to prevent cargo from moving. A. Securing cargo. B. Blocking. C. Cargo tie-down. D. Cargo cover. The correct answer is B. Blocking. Blocking fits firmly against cargo to prevent it from sliding. It may be placed in the front, back, and/or sides to make sure cargo is secure. Bracing is also used and is placed from the upper part of the cargo to the floor. Question 13. The basic method for blank is 1. Release accelerator, push in clutch, and shift to neutral at the same time. 2. Release clutch. 3. Let engine and gears slow down to the RPM required for the next gear. 4. Push in clutch and shift to the higher gear at the same time. 5. Release clutch and press accelerator at the same time. A. Shifting up. B. Shifting down. C. Accelerating. D. Backing safely. The correct answer is A. Shifting up. The driver must be able to shift safely and correctly. Making sure the vehicle is in the correct gear while driving will ensure better control. Question 14. It is blank to text while driving a vehicle. A. Allowed only when contacting dispatch. B. Allowed under good driving conditions. C. Acceptable during a family emergency. D. Illegal. The correct answer is D. Illegal. Texting is a distraction and a hazard while driving. It is illegal for drivers to text while operating a vehicle and puts passengers in harm's way. If there is an emergency and a driver needs to text, they should pull over to a safe location and make sure the vehicle is secure before doing so. Question 15. Baggage and freight should be stored in a way that prevents damage and blank. A. Allows the driver and passengers to move freely and easily. B. Allows all emergency exits to be accessible to passengers. C. Protects the driver and passengers from injury. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. Never allow passengers to store their baggage in the aisles or doorways. All emergency exits must be free from baggage, and the driver and passengers must be able to move about the vehicle freely and safely. Question 16. When managing the space on the side of a bus, the driver should blank. A. Consider how wind will affect the bus's lane position. B. Avoid being positioned next to another vehicle. C. Keep the bus to the right side of the lane. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Buses take up a large amount of space, and drivers should know how wide their vehicles are. Drivers should stay in the right lane when possible and should avoid aligning the bus next to other vehicles to prevent hitting other cars or objects. Question 17. It is blank to perform a daily pre-trip inspection. A. Important. B. Required by law. C. Not necessary if the vehicle has already been used. D. Sometimes required. The correct answer is B. Required by law. It is a federal and state law that all drivers of CDL vehicles conduct a daily pre-trip inspection. The pre-trip inspection is important to detect any malfunctions with the vehicle, to keep the driver and passengers safe, and to help cut the cost of repair expenses. Question 18. Emergency exit doors must be blank. A. Closed when the vehicle is in motion. B. 1 feet away from baggage. C. Locked when the vehicle is parked. D. Located directly behind the last passenger's seat. The correct answer is A. Closed when the vehicle is in motion. During pre-trip inspections, the driver should always make sure the emergency exit door is closed and properly sealed. Baggage should be stored at least 2 feet from all emergency exits. The emergency exit may be locked when the bus is parked, but must open easily and freely when passengers are being transported. Question 19. It is prohibited for a driver to shift gears when driving a passenger vehicle at a blank. A. Drawbridge. B. Downhill grade. C. Railroad crossing. D. Emergency pullover. The correct answer is C. Railroad crossing. A driver should never shift gears while crossing a railroad track. Shifting gears could cause the vehicle to stall on the tracks, putting the driver and passengers in a hazardous situation. Question 20. If a bus leans toward the outside on a banked curve, the driver's speed is blank. A. Too slow. B. Inconsistent. C. Too fast. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Too fast. All banked curves have a safe speed sign. During good weather conditions, the posted speed is appropriate for cars, but may be too fast for many buses. If a bus is traveling too fast and has good traction, it may tip over, and if it has bad traction, it may skid. Question 21. When an unruly passenger needs to be discharged, the driver should choose to do so at blank. A. Truck stop. B. Safe location. C. Next service area. D. Police station. The correct answer is B. Safe location. It is important that drivers inform all passengers of the rules to ride the bus. This will cause less conflict between other passengers who may be disturbed by annoying behavior. If a passenger becomes too unruly, the driver may decide to discharge them. In this instance, the passenger must be left off at a safe location. Question 22. In good weather conditions, driving a 40-feet bus at 50 mph, a driver should leave blank seconds behind the vehicle in front of them. A. 12. B. 5. C. 6. D. 11. The correct answer is B. 5. When calculating traveling distance, a driver should allow 1 second for each foot of length of vehicle driven. Another second should be added if the driver is traveling above 50 mph. Question 23. Blank are used to help slow a vehicle down while reducing the need for using your brakes. A. Multi-speed axles. B. Retarders. C. Automatic transmission. D. Auxiliary transmission. The correct answer is B. Retarders. Retarders are another way to slow down a vehicle and reduce the need for using brakes. Retarders can be adjusted on some vehicles and all can be turned on and off by the driver. Question 24. The bus will blank when braking and the wheels are rolling just before locking. A. Have the most traction. B. Skid. C. Pull to the left. D. Pull to the right. The correct answer is A. Have the most traction. Braking is the safest and most effective when brakes are applied with enough pressure to stop safely, but not too hard, and suddenly that brakes lock up. If brakes lock up, the vehicle may become difficult to steer and control. Looking ahead to see hazards in advance allows the driver to prepare to stop before locking, so the vehicle will have the most traction. Question 25. When slowing down a vehicle, the driver should warn other drivers by blank. A. Using universal hand signals. B. Tapping brakes. C. Use high beams. D. Use a turn signal. The correct answer is B. Tapping brakes. Tapping brakes lightly is a way to warn other drivers of a stop zone. If drivers behind you are not expecting you to stop, tapping brakes is a way to prepare them. Stopping at a railroad crossing might be a time drivers would tap brakes as a warning. Question 26. When roof hatches are open, the height of the bus blank. A. Increases. B. Decreases. C. Stay the same. D. Changes. The correct answer is A. Increases. Roof hatches are sometimes opened halfway for fresh air. Drivers should be aware when driving under bridges or underpasses that the vehicle has added height when the latches are open. Question 27. All are examples of emergency equipment on a bus except blank. A. Fire extinguisher. B. Spare fuses. C. Crowbar. D. Tire repair kit. The correct answer is D. Tire repair kit. Drivers should always be prepared for emergencies and make sure their equipment is inspected and in working order. Drivers should make sure that they are properly trained to use safety equipment and that it is secure and easily accessible. Question 28. When road conditions are slippery, drivers should blank. A. Take back roads. B. Brake frequently. C. Pass unsafe drivers. D. Avoid passing slower moving vehicles. The correct answer is D. Avoid passing slower moving vehicles. Adverse weather conditions such as snow or rain may cause slippery roads that may become hazardous. Driving too fast or jerky movements may cause reduced friction between a vehicle's tires and the road surface. Drivers should avoid passing slower moving vehicles in order to maintain a safe and steady speed. Question 29. Blank is the best way to keep control on a curve. A. Increasing speed before the curve and brake as you go through the curve. B. Maintaining the same speed through the curve so the vehicle leans to the right. C. Decreasing speed before the curve, accelerating slowly through the curve. D. Maintaining the same speed through the curve so the vehicle leans to the left. The correct answer is C. Decreasing speed before the curve, accelerating slowly through the curve. As a vehicle approaches a curve, the driver should move to the lane that is the opposite direction of the curve. Decreasing speed before a curve will allow the driver more control as light pressure is applied to accelerate through the curve. Question 30. When stopping at a railroad crossing, buses should stop blank to blank feet before the tracks. A. 25, 80. B. 50, 15. C. 25, 15. D. 30, 65. The correct answer is B. 50, 15. All buses must come to a complete stop 50 to 15 feet at railroad crossings. After coming to a complete stop, drivers must properly secure their bus and open the driver's window and the service door to make sure they do not see or hear any trains before crossing. Question 31. What is not a problem when inspecting tires? A. Front tire tread is 432 inch. B. Air pressure is 200 psi. C. Cracked valve stem. D. Mix-match tires. The correct answer is A. Front tire tread is 432 inch. Front tires must be no less than 432 of an inch, and rear tires must be no less than 232 inch. Having low tire tread can cause hazards by causing poor traction or having a blowout while driving. Drivers should make sure the tire pressure is at a safe level of 105 to 110 psi. The valve stem is securely capped, and tires have even wear and proper treading. Question 32. The distance traveled before coming to a complete stop after the brakes are applied is blank. A. Stopping distance. B. Braking distance. C. Travel distance. D. Braking control. The correct answer is B. Braking distance. The braking distance is affected by the speed of a vehicle and the friction between the tires and the road surface. The braking distance is one component to determine the total stopping distance, which is the time it takes for a vehicle to come to a complete stop. Question 33. Blank have the biggest effect on the amount of traction a bus will have. A. Size tires. B. Gear. C. Road conditions. D. Brand of tires. The correct answer is C. Road conditions. There are many factors that affect the amount of traction a bus will have. The biggest effect will be road conditions. In addition, other factors such as weight of vehicle, condition of tires, and balance of vehicle can all have an effect on the amount of traction a bus has. Question 34. Blank tires may not be recapped or regrooved. A. Front. B. All tires. C. Outside dual. D. Inside dual. The correct answer is A. Front. The front tires may not be recapped or regrooved, and treads must have even wear. The tires in the rear may be recapped or regrooved, but must match. Rear tires must also have even wear. Question 35. What should a driver do if a passenger tries to board the vehicle with a car battery? A. Make sure it is properly sealed. B. Have the passenger sit in the front of the vehicle. C. Give the passenger a hazard tag to attach to the battery. D. Refuse to allow the battery on the vehicle. The correct answer is D. Refuse to allow the battery on the vehicle. Car batteries are a Class 8 hazardous material and should never be allowed on a bus. Most hazardous materials are prohibited from buses due to the risks to health and injury. Question 36. When should a driver discuss bus safety and comfort rules with the passengers? A. When they purchase their ticket. B. At the beginning of a trip. C. At the scheduled destination. D. While driving to destination. The correct answer is B. At the beginning of a trip. Most charter and intercity carriers have rules for the comfort and safety of their passengers. School buses also have rules to keep the bus orderly and safe for students. A driver may prevent conflicts by discussing the rules at the beginning of a trip. Question 37. What do drivers not need to be aware of at stops to ensure the safety of the passengers? A. Passengers can stumble when the bus starts and stops. B. Getting on and off the bus. C. The reason for traveling. D. Wait for passengers to find a seat before starting again. The correct answer is C. The reason for traveling. When arriving at a destination or bus stop, drivers should be aware of passengers to make sure they are seated and safe. Starting and stopping should be as smooth as possible for a comfortable ride and to prevent injury. Question 38. A prohibited practice while transporting passengers is blank. A. Fueling a vehicle in a closed building with riders on board. B. Playing music. C. Use of two-way radio. D. Scan the bus to make sure passengers are following rules. The correct answer is A. Fueling a vehicle in a closed building with riders on board. Drivers should make sure they have enough fuel before heading out on the road. Only when it is absolutely necessary can a driver fuel their vehicle when passengers are on board, but never in a closed building. Question 39. Small arms ammunition and emergency hospital supplies weighing blank pounds or less may sometimes be hauled on a bus. A. 25. B. 500. C. 100. D. 50. The correct answer is B. 500. Most bus companies do not allow any hazardous materials to be hauled on the bus. If small ammunition or emergency hospital supplies are allowed on a bus, they must be properly packaged and not weigh more than 500 pounds. Question 40. If a bus is disabled, riders must exit the bus before getting towed unless blank. A. It is only a short distance. B. It would be unsafe to get off the bus. C. It is towed by truck equipped to tow CDL vehicles. D. There are less than 10 passengers on board. The correct answer is B. It would be unsafe to get off the bus. A disabled bus should not be towed or pushed to a safe place while passengers are still on board. The only exception is if it is unsafe for passengers to get off of the bus. If so, the bus should only be towed or pushed until it is safe for passengers to get off. Question 41. Drivers need to take special care with blank tanks because they have a high center of gravity and the load can shift. A. Dry bulk. B. Livestock. C. Oversized load. D. Hanging meat. The correct answer is A. Dry bulk. Drivers must be cautious when going around curves and turns while transporting dry bulk tanks. The load can shift easily, and drivers must drive at slower speeds when maneuvering their vehicle. Question 42. Important items to inspect during a pre-trip to prevent passenger injury are blank. A. Handrails. B. Floor matting. C. Signaling devices. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. To ensure passenger safety, drivers must make sure their vehicle is safe and secure. Handrails should be secure and properly attached to support passengers going up and down stairs. Floor matting should be clean and secure without tears. Signaling devices should be checked to make sure they are in safe working order. Question 43. A 2-inch line on the floor of the bus to show passengers where they are not allowed to stand is called blank. A. Passenger free zone line. B. Standee line. C. Driver section line. D. Danger zone line. The correct answer is B. Standee line. Passengers are not allowed to stand in front of the standee line, which is located near the back of the driver's seat. Buses that allow passengers to stand are required to have a standee line or something similar. Question 44. Drivers do not have to stop, but must slow down and check for trains or vehicles when approaching blank. A. Streetcar crossing. B. Railroad crossing. C. Where a policeman or flagman is directing traffic. D. Both A and C. The correct answer is D. Both A and C. Even though it is not required to stop at a streetcar crossing, drivers should still travel at a slow speed and look out for any trains or vehicles. When a policeman or flagman is directing traffic, the driver should follow the directions given, drive slow, and use caution. Question 45. The total weight of a powered unit, plus its trainer, plus the cargo is blank. A. Gross combination weight rating. B. Gross vehicle weight. C. Gross combination weight. D. Gross vehicle weight rating. The correct answer is C. Gross combination weight. The gross combination weight is the maximum weight allowed for both the loaded trailer and the loaded vehicle that the tow vehicle is allowed to have. This weight rating is found on the vehicle's placard and is determined by the manufacturer. Question 46. What is the most important reason to inspect a vehicle before it goes out on the road? A. Safety for the driver and others. B. Make sure the driver does not get blamed for someone else's mistake. C. Keep the bus looking good. D. Cost of breakdowns. The correct answer is A. Safety for the driver and others. There are many reasons a vehicle inspection is required. The most important is for the safety of the driver, its passengers, and others. Federal and state inspectors may also perform random inspections and take a vehicle off the road if they judge that it is unsafe. Question 47. A driver is prohibited to talk and engage in activities with passengers blank. A. Before the trip begins. B. while driving. C. When they arrive at their destination. D. During a designated layover. The correct answer is B. While driving. Many accidents are caused by driver error, and it is important that a driver remain focused while driving. In the CDL Manual Section 4, a driver is prohibited from talking with passengers or participating in any distracting activities while driving. Question 48. The total weight of a vehicle plus its load is called blank. A. Gross vehicle weight rating. B. Gross combination weight. C. Gross vehicle weight. D. Gross combination weight rating. The correct answer is C. Gross vehicle weight. Gross vehicle weight is the total maximum weight of a vehicle. It is the driver's responsibility to make sure their vehicle is not overloaded and should check the weight and cargo is balanced during their pre-trip inspection and then recheck after driving for 3 hours and after every break. Question 49. Blank are never allowed to be carried on a bus. A. Emergency drugs. B. Tear gas, irritating material. C. Hospital gowns. D. 50 pounds, small arm ammunition. The correct answer is B. Tear gas, irritating material. At times, a small amount of hazardous material may be transported by bus. Tear gas and irritating materials are always prohibited from being transported by bus. They are a Class 6 hazardous material and may cause serious injury or death. Question 50. When a driver is traveling too fast on a banked curve, the bus will blank. A. Become sluggish. B. Lean toward the outside. C. Lean toward the inside. D. Skid. The correct answer is B. Lean toward the outside. A banked curve is tilted inward and is used to help vehicles get around a turn. It decreases the vehicle's reliance on the force of friction. When driving into a banked curve, drivers should slow down their driving speed. When going into a banked curve too fast, a vehicle will turn outward, putting it at risk for tipping over. Question 51. When loading cargo, it is important to load blank. A. Heavy cargo on top of light cargo. B. Light cargo on top of heavier cargo. C. Distribute as low as possible. D. Both B and C. The correct answer is D. Both B and C. The height of the vehicle's center of gravity is important for transporting safely. When a vehicle's center of gravity is high, the chances of tipping over are increased. This is especially dangerous when driving on curves. Question 52. What are 4 basic skills a driver needs to operate a commercial vehicle safely? A. Skid control, use of windshield wipers, inspection of 2-way radio. B. Use of snow chains, use of strobe lights and flashers, crash procedures. C. Accelerating, steering, stopping, backing safely. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Accelerating, steering, stopping, backing safely. When starting to accelerate, it is important not to back up. If a vehicle has a manual transmission, the driver must partly engage the clutch before taking their foot off of the brake. While steering the vehicle, the driver's hands must hold the steering wheel firmly and be on opposite sides of the wheel. When stopping the vehicle, the amount of brake pressure the driver needs will depend on the speed of the vehicle and how quickly it needs to stop. Backing is always dangerous and should only be done when absolutely necessary. The driver must start to use a helper when necessary, use their mirrors, and back up slowly. Question 53. When backing up abuse, drivers should blank. A. Adjust mirrors. B. Scan area. C. Use spotter when available. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. Backing up a bus increases the chances of an accident, and drivers should avoid it when possible. At times, a driver will have to back up. When they do, they should use proper precautions to avoid an accident. Buses should always back into the area with the least amount of traffic and try to warn other drivers by beeping their horn. If possible, it is always best to use a spotter to help direct the bus backing up. Question 54. Many bus accidents blank. A. Occur at intersections. B. scrape mirrors. C. Hit passing cars when pulling out from the bus stop. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. It is important for drivers to know the measurements of their vehicle and the amount of clearance that is needed. In addition to other cars and mirrors, drivers also need to be aware of poles, trees, and signs as they are pulling away from stops. Question 55. What type of railroad crossing does not have warning signs, crossbucks, or pavement markings? A. Active. B. Exempt. C. Passive. D. Urban. The correct answer is C. Passive. Passive railroad crossings are uncontrolled and do not have gates or flashing lights. Crossbucks and road markings warn drivers to use caution when approaching. Active railroad crossings have consistent train traffic and are controlled by gates, flashing lights, and road markings. Question 56. Drivers should stop blank before an uncontrolled drawbridge. A. 100 feet. B. 25 feet. C. 50 feet. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. 50 feet. Drivers must stop 50 feet before drawbridges that do not have a signal light or traffic attendant. If the drawbridge does have an attendant or a traffic light, the driver does not have to stop but should slow down to make sure it is safe to cross. Question 57. Blank applies the service brakes and holds the throttle in the idle position when the rear door is open and should never be used in place of the parking brake. A. Service brake. B. Emergency brake. C. ABS. D. Brake and accelerator interlock system. The correct answer is D. Brake and accelerator interlock system. A brake and accelerator interlock system is mostly used on urban mass transit. When the back door of the bus is open, the interlock applies the service brakes and holds the throttle in the idle position. The interlock releases when the rear door is closed. Question 58. More than blank pounds total of allowed hazardous material and no more than blank pounds of any one class is forbidden on a vehicle with passengers. A. 1,000, 500. B. 500, 25. C. 500, 100. D. 100, 75. The correct answer is C. 500, 100. Passengers may try to board a bus unknowingly with materials that are hazardous and not labeled properly. Never allow passengers to carry on common hazardous items such as car batteries or gasoline. Question 59. When is it best to wear a seatbelt? A. When traveling over 25 mph. B. When passengers are on board. C. At all times. D. When driving longer than 3 hours. The correct answer is C. At all times. In most states, it is required by law that all front seat drivers wear a seatbelt. During a pre-trip, drivers must make sure that their seatbelt is properly adjusted and fastened securely. Question 60. Be aware and blank when noticing a distracted driver. A. Keep a safe following distance. B. Speed ahead. C. Watch closely. D. Travel closely. The correct answer is A. Keep a safe following distance. When drivers are distracted, it can be dangerous to other drivers and pedestrians. A few signs of a distracted driver are speed changes, lane weaving, and slow reactions to traffic signals. Good drivers should be aware of unusual behaviors and keep a safe following distance if they feel another driver might be distracted.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you still need more practice, then check out these videos or click the first link in the description to get your cheat sheet, which will help you pass your CDL exam on your first try.